major force on the ground is Iraqi militia, which again are now Shiite, backed by the Shiite Revolutionary Guard from Iran in Iraq, and we're supporting in that conflict Iran. So
didn't Saudi Arabia know opening the door and kicking off the Shiite-Sunni civil war would give Iran the green light to release its more highly trained military teams across the region?
Well, see, I've said since 2009 that if Israel attacks Iran, the only ally Israel's going to have is going to be Saudi Arabia. And since 2009, Israel and Saudi Arabia have been running military maneuvers. Israel's been rehearsing a strike on Iran, training pilots, preparing logistics. Saudi Arabia would be the force that would help Israel attack Iran. And Saudi Arabia has come closer now to Israel because the Saudis, as Sunnis, are desperately afraid that if Iran, as the Shiites, exert regional power, which they're doing, and this agreement with Obama under nuclear weapons just gives Iran more prestige, more power, more money with the lifting of sanctions.
Okay, well, let's pull back. I mean, we know there's a major Israel lobby, there's a defense lobby, there's a major global banking lobby that I think is the most dominant, that really does tend to be financing an anti-Israel movement worldwide to kind of legitimize global government worldwide and the UN through some type of sacrifice of Israel. So separating, let's say I'm an atheist politically on Israel, just looking at it coldly like a political scientist, which you are, why does the elite want to start getting rid of Israel? And how do they think they're going to get away with that? Because Israel's got nuclear weapons, a major military, and isn't going to go quietly. I mean, I've heard people say, oh, no, Israel just give up and roll over. I don't see that happening. I mean, is this a larger destabilization program that they think will then force Israel into a confrontation, and then Israel will destabilize the region more? I mean, this just seems like an order out of chaos playbook here that doesn't have an end game. It seems insane.
Well, you've got, first of all, I think the globalists have tired of supporting Israel and are willing to abandon Israel. I don't see any really global, the one world order crowd, the new world order crowd, and the groups who are pushing one world currency and all the other integrations of economies.
They're done using Israel now, just like they're done with the U.S.
They have no real use in Israel. They don't want to support it any longer. What you've got developing in the Middle East is really a fundamental conflict between Sunnis and Shiites. And the United States seems to be playing, both sides. We're not supporting any of the moderate forces in the Middle East. We're certainly not supporting Israel. And when Israel gets pushed into a corner, and I've said this since I wrote Atomic Iran in 2005, Israel will reach a point where they decide that if Iran's going to be imminently having nuclear weapons, Israel will attack, regardless the cost and regardless of whether Israel has to use nuclear weapons or not. I mean, we're seeing a regional, the Middle East has devolved into violent Islamic chaos that is going to be very difficult for most Americans even to comprehend.
And that is now being exported at record rates with the political left worshiping it, and the ultimate sin is criticizing radical Islam. What is the insane equation there, where places like France are xenophobic against other European cultures and language, but are importing radical Islam as fast as they can?
Well, even the United States, I mean, the surprising thing is that for instance, on the left, the feminist movement does not oppose radical Islam, even though it's, violently discriminates against women, abuses women, and it does so on a theological basis. Yet the American left embraces Islam and ignores all of these atrocities that Islam creates. So you've got a love affair with the left worldwide, and you see it in France, you see it in the European countries. We're also importing a large number of Muslims into the United States with the Obama administration. That's, again, not being actively reported. We're reporting it at WND. You're reporting it at InfoWars. But in general, the influx of Muslims under the Obama administration and in high policy positions, Muslim Brotherhood in high policy positions in the State Department and the administration throughout, has not been adequately covered.
Well, sure, and everybody knows that I was against these previous wars, and I'm not a, quote, Islamophobe. But, I mean, I went to high school and college with really nice Muslim folks that weren't radical. Some of these earlier waves were really, you know, scientists, engineers, really doctors, neat people. The folks coming in now, and I live in Austin, Texas, are Wahhabists. I mean, I talk to them, I see them, I hear them. I see them, like, shoving their wife down the street, wearing a hood over her head, bugging their eyes out at me. I mean, it's getting pretty creepy. And, I mean, I don't want to live in Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry.
Well, the responsible position should be to support moderate forces within Islam to have a reformation. And they can be found. I mean, El-Sisi in Egypt, for instance, is one of the moderate forces in Islam that could help to get a re-evaluation of the violent nature of radical Islamic terrorism. I mean, I think any responsible person is opposed to radical Islamic terrorism rather than Islam itself. We're not going to go to war with 1 billion people in the world who believe in Islam, most of whom don't want any of this violence at all.
Absolutely. And you know, Bill Maher says they all want violence, or most of them. No, that's not true. But the groups taking over do. And I want to talk about that radicalization when we come back with Dr. Jerome Corsi of WND.com. I'm Alex Jones.
This hour of GCN brought to you by LeSig. Kick some ash with LeSig's high-quality e-cig kits and e-juices. Like us on Facebook for a 10% discount. Call 870-525-1440 or visit LeSig.com.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
It's happening again. The feds are trying to ban your freedom to own body armor. In January, a newly introduced bill, H.R. 378, will take away your right to buy Level 3 and higher body armor. Katie Armor offers the most affordable Level 3 body armor packages on the market today. Protect yourself. Buy your body armor now before it's too late. Go to katiearmor.com. That's CATI armor.com. Come and take it.
Hi, folks. Alex Jones here with some important information. I want to tell you about Matt Redhawk and his team of patriots over at My Patriot Supply. Several years ago, Matt was sitting in his 2-bedroom apartment, frustrated with the direction this country was headed and the charlatans willing to sell us out for a quick buck. Deciding to take action, a company run by patriots for patriots was born. My Patriot Supply has never taken a loan or accepted outside funding. They now operate 2 distribution facilities and employ over 50 hardworking American men and women. It is rare to find companies who practice what they preach. And that's why I stock my pantry with high-quality storable foods from My Patriot Supply. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Alex today for special offers on emergency food storage, or call their preparedness specialist at 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Do business with someone who shares your values. mypatriotsupply.com/Alex.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
You can prevent being the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
There are hundreds of silver products on the market today, but there's nothing like the astonishing health benefits of the multi-patented One Silver Solution. Boost your immune system at a great price with our Silver Solution liquid in regular and extra strength. Our silver soap, made with all natural organic ingredients, leaves your skin clean and refreshed. Call 844-USE-SILVER for your free catalog. 844-USE-SILVER. Or go to onesilversolution.com. Onesilversolution.com. There is only one silver solution.
I was just thinking during the break, Alex Jones here back live, how sick the so-called left really are. How they would try to end fatherhood and manhood and try to ban dodgeball or even running in the playgrounds because it's seen as aggressive. They just want to enslave us. And how they say all sex is rape, and then they'll never criticize sexual mutilation, radical Islam. And they put movies out with David Cross where they go, Alex Jones is a racist Islamophobe, just randomly in the movie. When I was criticized for being against the Iraq war and all the rest of it, doesn't mean I want to be colonized by radical Islam. which if you hadn't looked around has taken over. Even the UN says Christians are being persecuted at record levels. Why are Christians so low in the government's eye? Why can't Christians get bakeries to put Christian verses on cakes, but the, quote, gays and lesbians can? Because Christianity is seen as the dominant culture, and we're being conquered right now. That's my view. Dr. Corsi, as a sociologist, anthropologist, political scientist, well-traveled man, why is there a major war on Christianity, or do you disagree that there's not one? I mean, look at Lois Lerner not getting in trouble.
Well, I think you see it. You've identified it correctly. There is a war on Christianity going on. The left agenda, the agenda of the left, sees an opportunity right now to get, as it were, a final victory in terms of the culture war, pressing on the LGBT agenda, to have, you know, various forms of sexual preference be declared a constitutional right, so that, you know, what happens to the First Amendment? Well, if you object to this, you are a bigot. Churches, we're going to see lawsuits increasingly to tax churches that do not support the LGBT agenda. Around the world, and the Pope has mentioned this as well, you're seeing Christians under attack throughout the Middle East, throughout Africa, slaughters of Christians, which are being largely unreported and largely not even taken seriously. The UN, which has largely been, you know, again, very supportive of radical Islamic agenda, had from the beginning of the Palestinian debate going back, you know, 30 or 40 years, the UN has not speaking up for Christians the way it would be expected to speak up for Islam.
And that's because Christians are politically incorrect. Christians need to just roll over and die, or become Marxist conduits, or we will be destroyed.
The choice are, you know, first, what's acceptable politically is you can be an atheist, or you can be, you know, certainly Islam is not being criticized by the left, but any true Christianity is viewed as being portrayed as bigoted, being, you know, portrayed as out of touch with reality.
Well, Christianity is what caused basically the modern Renaissance and inclusiveness and the Reformation, as you were getting at. And it's just, I mean, they've taken the fruits of that and are now bringing in a totalitarianism. In closing, what do you make separately?
We've been through this before with the ancient Roman Empire. I mean, ancient Roman Empire had, you know, Christianity was the solution to the violence, the paganism, and the anything goes kind of attitude, value relativism, that it produced the chaos of the ancient world. And Christianity largely brought the ancient world into a Reformation, the Enlightenment, and the modern world. Now we're going the opposite direction. We're going back to moral relativism. We're saying that any attitudes people have, regardless of what they want to believe or not believe, or have sexually or not have sexually, is within their preference, and they're all constitutionally protected, except if you want to believe in Jesus Christ and profess Christianity.
I was about to say there's that paradox where anything goes except if we say it doesn't, and then it's totalitarianism.
Well, see, the left is not going to be tolerant. It's not going to be classically liberal. It doesn't believe in a First Amendment. It believes that if you don't adhere to the left's principles, you need to go to thought reform, because you are not only incorrect, you're evil, you've got to be crushed, you've got to be abused. That's what they do to you, Alex. It's what they do to me on the left, because
these people are sick. Dr. Corsi, I know you've got to go, but we're back in 60 seconds. See if you can do like 3 more minutes to put bookends on this and finish up on where you think Obama's going, this election, the power grabbing. I want to get some final comments. WND.com.
In the near future.
When you realize how fake it all is, the football, the basketball.
Alert. Security alert. This is Homeland Security. Analysis. InfoWars building independent media operations.
We let the worst people get control and tell us that we are the ones responsible.
Prime Directive. Discredit Alex Jones.
Jones is the wildly popular conspiracy theorist.
A popular conspiracy theory talk show called InfoWars.
Alex Jones is now in an Austin jail.
These people are assaulting us.
Targeting of patriots engaged.
They are never going to stop. They're never going to deviate from their program until we stop them.
Block free iPhone app at Infowars.com. Block free podcast and video feed. Imperative. Destroy Prison Planet TV.
You gotta set your eye on the enemy, not worry about what propaganda they put out. Intellectually, it's begun and you can feel it.